This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com, where I actually just posted something new recently. I put a bunch of indie horror comics up there that people might dig, so go check that out. But like I said, we are the Steve and Crypto Show. I am Steve.
I am Crypto Zoo. We are at episode 116.
Which is also part 3 of our Crypticon preview.
Yeah, of course. Our favorite convention in the Northwest is right around the corner. We're recording this on Monday, the 15th, and Crypticon...
We're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting really, really close now. So Crypticon, for anybody who hasn't listened to the last couple episodes or for some reason just doesn't even know what it is a horror convention which takes place every May out here, and it is May 19th through the 21st. So this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's at the Doubletree at SeaTac.
Yep.
It's kind of a pain in the ass getting in there, but once you're in there, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Steve and I will be out there on Saturday. I will be back on Sunday with my family, but he and I will be there on Saturday for business and hanging out, mingling, and
having some fun at our favorite show.
Meeting new friends. That's one thing I want to get across to everybody listening is you'll probably make a new friend while you're there, or just, you know, you'll be comfortable enough to talk to a stranger because they have a cool t-shirt that you like or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that at this show. Before we get too much into Crypticon, tell people how they can support the Steve and Crypto Show. Yeah,
we need gas money to get over to Seattle to Crypticon itself. Yep. So if you could head over to buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto, all contributions...
BuyMeSomeGas.com.
Yeah. All contributions go towards our gas tank. Goes towards like improving our show in many, many ways. Replacing gear. It helps with getting new merchandise and getting to event promotions. It helps to getting us to events like this weekend's Crypticon, and where we can spread the good word about our show. So again, if you want to head over to patreon.com/SteveCrypto.
Well, you kind of transitioned from Buy Me a Coffee to Patreon, but since you mentioned Patreon...
Oh, shit, I said the wrong thing.
You started with Buy Me a Coffee and then just kind of ended with Patreon. But since you're talking about it, Patreon. What can they find at Patreon?
They both have the /SteveCrypto at the end. So that's easy for both. Well, for anybody out there listening, I was going to say both of you listening. We hope there's more than two of you. So for anyone listening, both buymeacoffee.com and Patreon have the /SteveCrypto at the end. Makes it easy to find us. So if you want to head over to patreon.com/SteveCrypto, you can check out some exclusive content. We have an assortment of things. There's some goofy little videos of us unboxing toys and things that we've purchased and things that we don't need. There's some like content that's spoiler-esque. Well, actually not even spoiler-esque. It's spoilers, full-on spoilers of Scream and Evil Dead. So... If you haven't watched those movies yet and you want us to spoil them for you, just go over to patreon.com and contribute.
You could pledge as little as $1 a month.
That's right.
Have access to all this stuff, and you'll sleep well knowing that you are supporting a great podcast like the Steve and Crypto Show.
That's right. Yeah, and you'll be in a great group of people that have listened to the show and have had a great time in the process, or at least we hope. And speaking of groups, we have a Facebook group that we welcome you to join. We encourage you to join it. Just look for the Steve and Crypto Show on Facebook. You'll probably find us. And if you have anything that you're working on, like a book or an album or a comic
Adult
or
film.
you'll probably get flagged if you post something from that. But
Don't actually post clips. Just like, hey, I'm making this movie, not for kids.
as long as you're posting something that's in the pop culture realm, and you're not like a robot account that's posting Jerry Springer videos trying to get them posted on there. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
We keep getting those.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would porno be considered part of pop culture? Because some of those people do become celebrities. Let's just move on. But yes, we do get, there's those stupid like spam things floating around, like clips from Jerry Springer, or like fucking Simon Cowell has died like 45 times in the last month, and some other bullshit. But
so if you're not trying to post
Facebook
something
group.
like that, then we encourage it. You know, we will gladly give you the thumbs up and let you post your slice of your project or whatever it is that you have that you are working on that you want to share.
Because there's a lot of people in that group that are looking to find a new book or a new album to listen to or a new indie horror film to watch. And that's a good place to post about it. And of course, we're always posting in there from our social media accounts.
Yes, you can follow us at CryptoZoo88 and at the Steve Strout. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, we
need cough drops.
Yeah. This weather change has really been messing with my allergies.
It's crazy. Like today, it's probably not like the hottest day so far. There's like this little mini heat wave going on here in our neck of the woods, like you mentioned, and our air conditioning went down at work. So it was like 90 degrees in there all day, and without the air system, there's no like airflow circulation. So like I was losing my voice earlier, and I thought like I wouldn't be able to podcast today.
You just start pointing at the sign up above you like,
baby,
sandwich,
baby. But follow us on social media and rate and review the Steve and Crypto Show.
That's what I was gonna get to before my mouth started going dry. So follow us online and review the show wherever you listen, wherever you're streaming this, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's a couple of them. Good pods. There's a few of them out there that will let you review. So
in the latest rankings, we were like number 6 in the top 100. Remember last week I was like, fuck Good Pods. We're not ranked. Now we're like number 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think their app is like glitchy.
But we'll take it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if the numbers are good and I can screenshot it, then I'm cool. I got to take a drink of my Liquid Death. Not a sponsor, but it could be.
What more reason do you need to support us on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon than the fact that we're the number 6 podcast on Good Pods? Like, I don't know
Your
how
third
many.
favorite. We're number 6.
I don't know how many shows are on there. There's probably like 15 or something. But we're number 6 out of the 15.
I'll take it. I'm cool with that.
So, as you heard at the top of the episode, speaking of other podcasts, we are part of the Deluxe Edition Network. You can find the Deluxe Edition Network at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. It is a collective of other independent podcasts like ours. It's a variety of genres and topics. A lot of fun shows. I want to listen to all of them. I'm trying to get through and sample them all and see which ones I like the best. I won't tell you because that's not fair, and those are our den mates.
You just got to go listen to them yourself.
Go check them out. Go to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. There's links to all the shows where you could find them and listen to them. Lots of good shows. Like I said, there's probably pushing 25 shows, including this month's podcast of the month. We have Real Drunks, which I know you've listened to, and they're funny guys.
Yeah, they're really
and
fun.
Horsing Around. I'm hearing really good things about them. They're like up on my list. So Real Drunks, Horsing Around, the 2 podcasts of the month for May. Someday that'll be us. But yeah, Deluxe Edition Network. Go check it out. Follow them on social media and keep up on all these other shows as well.
Speaking of links, I'm going to give you an audio link to our Etsy store right now. That is Etsy/shop/Steve and Crypto merch. Or you can just type in the Steve and Crypto Show and you'll likely find us. We have 2 t-shirt designs over there. There's a coffee mug. You know what that does. And there's a magnet that looks really, really good on your fridge. And it'll cover up some pictures that you might not be as proud to show on your fridge, like Steve was talking about. Ugly drawings, okay?
Yep.
I was going to try to be nice about it,
Kids'
but
shitty drawings.
yeah. If you got one that needs a little sprucing up, you know, you're like, all right, I posted it to make them happy, but let me put this magnet on it in the corner to just make it pop out more. Anyway, head over to Etsy store. You can find all that.
You mentioned mugs. I've still been using that mug from Black Metal Brunch. Have you used yours yet?
I sure have, many times.
It's a pretty cool mug. I like the design. They got a lot of cool designs.
I just used mine over the weekend, and a portal in my floor opened up.
Okay.
And all these little like black hands, clawed hands started coming out, you know. But then as soon as
you need to get your floor fixed. Your
soon as
floors at your house are fucked up because
yeah, they are.
because we already know what happened to me on your goddamn deck floor.
This was inside the house.
I
took
think
my
maybe
last
one of
swig.
those.
Once the coffee was gone, that portal just disappeared.
I think one of those hands tried to grab my foot and pull me down
Yeah,
to hell. Where
I believe so.
probably, it's too early. I know I'm gonna be going there eventually.
They have
but
hot coffee down there.
It's too hot for hot coffee. You gotta get ice. Now if they got me some like a blended mocha or something down there, I'll be
I'll be there in a few minutes.
I'll be
Hold
there
on.
soon. Yep. Let me get a frappuccino, bro. But yeah,
You got cold brew down there? I'm on my way.
but I just want a quick shout out to Black Metal Brunch. Find them on Instagram. It's a cool site. They got a lot of, as you guess, black metal themed horror designs on T-shirts and mugs and all kinds of shit. So
Yeah, they
check
got some
them
cool
out.
stuff.
They're a cool company. I dig them, and they're cool to us and show us a lot of love. So show it to them, and then go to our Patreon and our Buy Me a Coffee and our merch shop and join our group and follow us on social media and leave us a review and rating and all that stuff. And then go to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com and follow all them shows and listen to them and share them on social media and promote them all.
Our coffee mug and the Black Metal Brunch coffee mug are an unofficial set. So it's not going to say that anywhere.
So you need them both to complete the set.
Right. Anywhere that you read, you know, trying to find information on like how special or limited the cup is, you won't find that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But when the cups come together, I think our cup is what kept you from getting sucked down into that portal. The dark and the light, like together.
Yeah, they balance each other out.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
And
the
after
thing. I had both of them, so I'm still here to record this podcast with you.
Well, that's good. That's good. Make sure after you go shopping on our merch page and, you know, pledge whatever to our Patreon, save enough money for Crypticon this weekend.
Yeah, we want to see you there.
Hopefully, I know you're all not in the Northwest. Hopefully, you guys that are make it to Crypticon.
Hey, but that's no excuse for everybody else. We expect you to be flying out on like
It's
Thursday.
like fucking hotels at the airport.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is fly in and get off the plane, and you're at Crypticon.
Yep. Got everything you need there. Overpriced food, downstairs, everything you need.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't, though, do find a local horror convention to you and support it and support all the vendors and guests.
Yeah.
Last week, we actually ran off a list of some of the vendors, which you can find at CrypticonSeattle.com. And most of them have online sales, so you could get in on that and check out what they do. And we also, so over the last couple weeks, we've been hyping Crypticon, like I just mentioned, with the vendors. 2 episodes ago, we talked with Jason Brooks who was officially announced as a guest at Crypticon, but we kind of had the inside scoop because we're cool like that. Last week, we talked to Kelly Maroney from Night of the Comet and Chopping Ball, one of my favorites from the 80s. And this week, in a few minutes here, we're going to talk with Matthew Patrick Davis, who played as the beautiful mother from Barbarian.
And we're not even going to give you a sample of what the mother sounds like, because he's going to give you that himself in just a little while.
Before we get into that, we are going to mention a few of the special celebrity guests from Crypticon. And let's just dig right in and run through the list and mention a couple things they've been in and keep it short and sweet and get to the Matthew Patrick Davis interview.
Yeah, so there's a good assortment of guests coming out this year. And again, like Steve was saying, go to CrypticonSeattle.com if you want to see details on like what days some of the people will be there, because there are a couple guests that can only make it on certain days. You know, some of them might only be there on Saturday.
Like
some
me.
of them won't be there on Sunday.
But I don't count as a guest.
Well, you'll only be there on Saturday, and you won't be there Sunday. So there you
Steve
go.
Strout will only be there Saturday. Crypto Zoo will be there Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
And he'll have special guests with him.
Yeah, just
Children.
follow the crying. Yeah, just if you want to find me, follow the crying children. And eventually you'll find me trying to calm down my 3-year-old.
Or to be him crying because the kid made him cry.
I don't want to leave yet.
Yeah. So let's get into the guest list. I'm going to go right down off the website, CrypticonSeattle.com, and just name off who they got. We'll bounce them.
Yeah.
And mention what they were from. So I'll kick off with Dennis O'Hare.
I believe he was the first guest announced.
He was the first guest announced. He was from, he did a couple episodes of True Blood, which I remember his character pretty well. And he was in American Horror Story, I think a couple of the series, a couple of the seasons. So he's a pretty recognizable face. Like, personally, I didn't recognize his name, but as soon as I seen his face, I was like, oh, that fucking guy.
Yeah, he's familiar. He's in American Gods as well. I'm not really familiar with that show, but some of you listening might be.
I heard it's good, but yeah.
Also, we have Henry Thomas, who is from E.T., the extraterrestrial, not to be confused with Eddie Torres, the extra testicle.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you never saw that one?
No.
Eddie Torres? No?
No, did he like post about making a porno in our group or something?
Maybe. It got denied.
But no.
He is from...
He was Elliot from E.T.
Yes, he's Elliot from E.T. He was in The Haunting of Hill House. He was in Midnight Mass as well. So he'll be there. And actually, he is one of 3 people from E.T. that will be there. What's the next one?
We want to just run the next 2?
Yeah.
Since they're both from E.T.
Yep.
Robert McNaughton, who is Elliot's big brother in E.T. Kind of the shithead kid.
Yep.
But that's cool that he is there. I'm digging the whole E.T. reunion thing.
Yeah, and then last we have Dee Wallace, also from E.T.
And from The Howling.
Yep, and Cujo. Yeah.
She also was in Grimm, the TV series, which I was a big fan of. She was there a few years back, Dee Wallace, and she was such an amazing guest. She's like one of the sweetest fucking people. Like, she's one of those people that make you feel like you've known her a long time. It's like, it's Auntie D. Like, you know, like, she was super sweet when I met her.
I mean, she's been in the horror genre for a hell of a long
She's
time.
been in a lot of stuff. I know she's popping up in a lot of like indie filmmakers and stuff that I know, popping up in a lot of their stuff. But yeah, fucking Dee Wallace. If you know her, you know who Dee Wallace is. So we got Dee Wallace, Robert McNaughton, and Henry Thomas. Fucking Elliot, his mom, and the brother from E.T.
Yeah.
I don't know if E.T. is going to show up, but that'd be cool.
You were talking about people that have been in a lot of things. Kelly Jo Minter has an assortment of films under her belt as well, being in Summer School, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Dream Child, and The People Under the Stairs.
there's her, and then John Cassare, of course, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yep. Yeah. And this is a big one. I mean, not to take away from anybody else, but Danielle Harris, from, mostly known from Halloween 4 and 5 as being Michael Myers' niece. Her name was Jamie, right? Wasn't her name Jamie?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, anyway, she was also in Urban Legend and Hatchet 2 and 3.
Those movies are awesome.
So she will be there just on Saturday and Sunday, and she's going to be at Unlock the Con's booth. So if you go in and you're looking at all the celebrity booths and you're confused, like I don't see Danielle, look for Unlock the Con's vendor booth, and you'll see her there.
And check out the stuff they have in their booth, too. They always have cool stuff.
Yeah.
Chris and Barry always have fucking killer stuff in their, no pun intended, but yeah, they always have awesome shit in their booth.
Yeah.
Bex Taylor Klaus from the Scream TV series. She does voice on Voltron, Legendary Defenders on Netflix. And Arrow. She was in Arrow, which was really cool.
Yep. And then next we have 2 actresses from Night of the Comet. We have Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Maroney, who was on our last episode, 115. Catherine also is known for The Last Starfighter and Days of Our Lives. And ironically, Kelly Maroney was on another soap opera, One Life to Live.
Was it One Life to Live?
I think it was.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Don't quote us on that.
Yeah, don't quote us.
Go back and listen to our episode. She mentions it.
Yeah. I know I brought it up to her because my mom was a soap opera fan.
Right.
But Kelly also being known for Chopping Mall and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, True Blood. Yeah, a lot of different things. And again, like Steve said, go back and listen to the last episode with Kelly and check that out.
And we're also having the Addams Family. Not the Addams Family that comes to mind initially off the top of your head. They are a family of filmmaker, musicians. They've done, I don't know if you've seen the film Hellbender. It's a really interesting movie, but they're like a cool family. Like I didn't know about them until they went on the Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, and they were fucking like wild and just awesome guests, and they jammed out some tunes with John Brennan and stuff, and it was fun. They seem super fun, and I want to definitely pop in and say hi to them.
Yeah, we should. I'm gonna try to not be disappointed for the fact that Cousin It won't be there, but
no,
that's fine. I'll hold my tears in. So this next guest was scheduled for last year's Crypticon and was going to be there with his friends Fiona Dourif and Christine Elise, but he ended up getting sick, getting a cold, and
a cold.
Yeah.
So who was it? Never mind. We won't go into
John
that.
Cassire was the one that admitted he had diarrhea.
Yeah.
Other guests just said that they were sick, but we have our assumptions. Alex Vincent from Child's Play 1 and 2 from the Chucky series. He will be there signing autographs and taking pictures just like all the other guests. I'm really looking forward to meeting him, being that Chucky's pretty much my favorite character, my favorite icon in horror. So, I have an autograph from Fiona. I have one from Jennifer Tilly, thanks to Steve here. So
it's safe to assume that Alex is probably your guest you're most looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a music guy too. Like I think he makes his own music, like he produces beats or something like that. And I know that he's like a big Nine Inch Nails fan and has gone to a lot of their shows and has talked about music a lot on the Chucky Talks podcast.
Okay.
I believe was the name of it, the one that he did with Christine.
Are they still doing that? Or
no, I mean,
are they
not
doing it during the show.
It's usually just while the show is running.
Right. That should be coming back soon, isn't it?
Yeah. I think October.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they're definitely doing season 3. They did get the green light.
They're like filming now or something.
Well, I believe they're filming now.
Or maybe,
but
I don't know. They might be delayed with the strike and stuff, the writers' strike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully
but I know
they get that resolved.
They try to get it out in October at least.
I need to look into that and see how that's coming along. But
yeah.
Like, Yeah, take care of the fucking writers.
Yep.
Without them, we wouldn't have all this amazing television and movies and stuff we have. And knowing a few writers and being a fan of a few, I kind of support them. You know what I mean? So hopefully they resolve it. Give them what they deserve.
Yeah.
Let's get back to our list. The next guest is Dean Cameron from summer school, from ski school, and Rockula. He's a recognizable face. I'm not super personally familiar with him, but I know there's a lot of fans out there that will be. And I've heard that he's actually a really cool guest.
Cool. Also, we have Matt Shaw, known for The Funhouse, The Dreams They Weave, and None More Black, who will also be introducing his exclusive Crypticon Seattle novel there.
I guess it's supposed to be like a story kind of based on something happening at Crypticon.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to check that out.
He's a regular at Crypticon and very popular guest. And,
Speaking of regulars.
Eugene Clark. Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Which we kind of mentioned a little bit last week during the vendors. He's kind of sort of a vendor / guest. But Eugene Clark from George Romero's Land of the Dead will be there. And I don't know if he's going to do it this time, but he usually kind of gets in character a little bit as Big Daddy and puts in some creepy contacts. And sometimes he'll even put like a prosthetic around his eyes. And
yeah, he had that last year.
Jumpsuit and just...
Yep.
And he has fun. He
had all that last year. I heard he's bringing the jackhammer with him, so you got to lay down on the ground. He'll put it on your chest, and you take a picture that way.
Yeah, that might just be a rumor, I hope.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, don't quote. And there's nothing to do with Crypticon. But yeah, all these guys...
And I won't pay your hospital bills.
You can get their details on CrypticonSeattle.com. You can look through their schedule, see who has... panels and stuff. That's all at Crypticon.com. And we saved the last guest to mention for last but not least. He's actually our guest on this show. You know him from the viral Nightmare Before Christmas Jack Skellington video that's on YouTube. And now you know him as the mother from Barbarian.
He's a really fun guy. We had a great chat with him, and I'm really looking forward to meeting him in person this weekend.
For sure. Unfortunately, there was a little... I don't know what the fuck happened with the audio. Had a little weird glitch somewhere. Like, downloading it or something. So there's like a couple of spots at the beginning where we missed, like, it like cut out me actually saying beat Matthew Patrick Davis.
He just shows up in the room with us.
He disappeared. No. But so let's get that out of the way now. We have the performer, actor, musician who portrays the feral, frightening naked giant woman on Barbarian. We have Matthew Patrick Davis. Let's meet him, and when we get back, we will run some trivia by you and say goodbye and see you this weekend.
Hi, I'm Doug Jones, the tall, skinny, goofy actor who plays lots of monsters and creatures on film and in TV. But today, I want you to know that you are listening to the best podcast on the air, and that would be the Steve and Crypto Show.
You are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. I am Hank, the world's greatest, the host of Death by DVD.
I'm Linnea, and I like Death by DVD. It's a statement.
And I'm in your house. So, once you finish listening to this episode and download 3 more, head on over to www.deathbydvd.com, where there are over 130 blood-soaked episodes all about your favorite horror, exploitation, cult, and psychotronic movies, available to stream and download for your listening displeasure. I hope you enjoy this episode of the Steve and Crypto Show, and remember to start locking your back door.
Hey, this is Ace Vaughn Johnson from LA Guns, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show.
Hey, we are on the Steve and Crypto Show with a special guest. He plays the mother character in the acclaimed Barbarian film from last year. Was it 23 or 22?
22.
I lost track of time already. This whole last 4 years have been like kind of weird and blur. And it's about yourself and your background as an actor and performer pre-Barbarian.
Sure. Well, yeah, I in junior high started doing theater, and then in high school did theater, and then in college majored in theater, and then I moved to LA and started working in theater, and then also in commercials and televisions and whatnots. I also write songs and musicals, and some of those songs are on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram. And I write musicals that I put up at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, which is a comedy theater in Los Angeles. And then also sometimes I'll play large naked feral women, as one does.
That's the dream. Everybody in showbiz is like the dream.
Yeah, living the dream, full on living the dream.
Like that's, back in the day, people like Sinatra got into show business because he wanted to play a large naked feral woman. He didn't want to run with the Rat Pack and like hang with the mafia or nothing. He just wanted to be tits out and
Like I
creepy
got
as
stuck
hell.
with this gig when I really want to be down in the basement.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned the UCB theater. Mm-hmm. Didn't you just do a recent show there about the pun thing? What was that about?
Yeah, that's a musical called Pun Off. That is a musical about pun competitions, which are a real thing that exist. There's one in Austin that's been going for like 45 years. And as soon as I discovered that was like a funny subculture that existed, I was like, I would love to write a musical about that. An excuse to shoehorn wordplay into songs and, write about people that care too much about a silly thing.
How did that go over? Was it well received?
Yes, we've actually done it for a while now. We did it in the before times in 2019, and then took it to SF Sketchfest in 2020, and we're gearing up to do a run. And then something happened in March of 2020. I don't know. It's kind of hazy right now. I forget. And then so now that the UCB is back up and running, we've been putting it up a couple times, and the cast recording is on Spotify and whatever. And I don't know. We'll see what we do with it next.
Okay, we'll have to search that out.
Mm-hmm.
So how does one go from theater, as you say, or theater,
yes.
Depending on where you're from? How do you go from theater and like singing cute songs about dogs to playing one of the wildest, as you say, feral, naked,
it's all part
things
of the plan. It's all part of the plan, right? And it all tracks. Like, I've written a kids album of songs about dogs, and and I've been tits out. I think if there is a through line, it's that I'm 6'8" and skinny, and so not a lot of actors. I don't know if you know this, but not a lot of actors are 6'8". And so that puts me into a category because most actors are little teensy toonsers. They're tiny.
Yeah.
They can fit in your pocket. And so I, growing up, was always attracted to like physical comedians that were tall and skinny, like your Jerry Lewis or your Jim Carrey or your Bill Irwin or that kind of thing. And then as soon as I discovered who Doug Jones was, as soon as I figured out like, oh, wait, or this was before Shape of Water, but Hellboy guy is Pan's Labyrinth guy is Silver Surfer guy is, and he's built like me. Oh, I could use my tall skinniness for perhaps scary purposes or whatever. And then by sheer dumb coincidence, I signed with a manager who came to see my one man musical that I was doing at the UCB at the time, and he represents a lot of comedian people, and then he also represents Doug Jones, and I was like, I know who Doug is, and I would like to do that also, by the way, as like a plate that I spin in this wacky world. And so Barbarian is a series of things now where they'll come to my manager to check Doug's availability, and he'll be super busy or unavailable, and then my manager will say, I have a different tall skinny physical actor. And so that's how I maybe get on the short list for things. And so that's what got me on the first Zoom call with Zach.
Okay.
Do you have any like dream roles or any types of characters that you would like to play in the future?
I would like Disney theatricals to take The Nightmare Before Christmas and turn it into a Broadway musical, do it live on stage like they do with The Lion King or anything else. And I would like to be Jack Skellington.
Well, you have the viral video going around of you doing that performance. Have you seen that, Caleb?
No.
Well, now that was you said it was an acting class, I think I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was just an acting class. I just put up me singing Jack's Lament from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and everyone in the acting class freaked out and was like, we need to shoot this and get it to Tim Burton. And so we shot it, and I just kind of I put it up on the YouTubes, and then like now like 5.5 million people have seen it or something. So
I'm gonna have to hunt it down. I mean, just judging by your voice, I think you could play a mean Jack.
I mean, I try my best. I'm no Danny Elfman. He is, he's the voice of Jack for sure. But but I am tall and skinny. And
have you made it to one of his live shows?
Yeah,
for sure. That's one of my
That's cool.
That's one of my dream bucket list concerts to attend is the Elfman, the Halloween thing that he does every year.
I know he
amazing.
He would do The Nightmare Before Christmas every year, and then this year was the first time that he did like songs like Oingo Boingo songs, and then songs from his new album that he released. So it was really cool because I was a big Oingo Boingo fan before, but got into them like after they'd already broken up, and after Danny Elfman famously was like, "I'm never doing that ever again. I'm never performing live," And so it's cool.
You got one little treat for yourself in the end there.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the Zoom call. How did that happen? How did the whole thing come about? How did you get the role?
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, I read the script. I was just like blown away by it. I was like, what? I would be a naked lady that forcibly breastfeeds someone, and what? And so
I've made it, Mom. Yeah,
exactly. And so on the Zoom, I met Zach Kreger, and he was like, "Yeah, man, is this even anything you'd want to do?" And I was like, "Why? Because prosthetics are uncomfortable." And he's like, "No, because you'd be naked, man, ass out." And I was like, "Well, but I'm not a lady, so I'm not gonna be naked, right?" I was imagining when I read the script like a full body suit, but it actually was. It was just like rubber pieces, on my body, and a lot of it was my body, and I did have a dumb thong up my butt. I was ass out, and it was just like paint on my body to kind of blend in the boob piece with my actual stomach.
So just to be clear, the boobs weren't real.
Oh, right. Sorry to ruin your illusions there. I tried.
Damn.
I tried, to go on a very strict, strange diet. But I wasn't able to grow them in time. So
did you and Justin Long have like a discussion before that breastfeeding scene? Like, are you ready for this?
For sure. I tried to talk to him like, I talked to him the day before and was like, should we like stay in character or should we laugh between takes or what would be easiest for you? And he was like, let's just see how it goes. And then yeah, certainly during that part, I mean, we ended up, we went the laughing between takes route, and we I mean, after the breastfeeding scene, I don't know if you've seen, there's a cut scene where the mother bites the head off of a rat and baby birds it into his mouth. So we shot that, and before we shot that was when I turned to him and was like, "You ready for this?" And he, to his great credit, he was like, "Well, it's definitely the grossest thing, so we have to do it."
Yeah.
He had a good attitude the whole time, and I'm very grateful for that, because could have easily not had a good attitude.
That would be a tough one. So why do you think that scene didn't make it in, the rat?
Yeah, I think it was like it's by definition just had a super close up on the mother's face, and I think he wanted to save that until the end moment, or save that, push that off as far as possible.
Right.
He has said, like, you don't show the shark in Jaws as long as you possibly can, like that kind of.
Right. Yeah, just all the quick little glimpses.
Yeah.
But then at the end, we finally see the scene at the end with the little kiss and all that, and
you see her full beautiful face,
her lovely smile, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how did you prepare for playing that character?
Well, like physically, so over email, Zach was like, I hate myself for asking you this, but whatever you can do to get like as lean as possible. And I don't know, I just had like 3 weeks, and I'm tall and skinny. I'm a skinny guy, but maybe over the pandemic, I'd gained a little Tim Tam. Right. So anyway, so I did like change my diet, and I did just work out as much as possible, and I just wanted to be strong. I didn't want to do anything physically on set and then like, oh, I pulled a hammy, I'm out, and then, I mean, research wise, Zach Kreger also said, he told me to Google and research feral children, which I didn't even really know what that meant, but it is all these real life accounts of mostly girls that have been raised in captivity or trapped in cages during their formative years, and therefore like never learn to speak if they're never spoken to during those early ages. And so it explained, oh, this is why the mother is nonverbal. This is why there's like a kind of a stunted mentality, that there are these videos, and they're now women, and they would be described as a 2-year-old in a 20-year-old's body, or that kind of thing. And so it just explained a lot and allowed me to approach the character from a place of real empathy, as opposed to just a scary monster going boo.
Right.
So that was the depressing research that I did.
I was just thinking that. I was like, well, that's depressing, sad.
Yeah.
It was very sad. Yeah, it just like broke my heart. And but as an actor, that's what you want. Like, it was like my way in. and during the long makeup sessions, I would sometimes watch those videos of the specific women. There were like these two that I kind of gravitated towards, and it just helped me get in character. And yeah, it was great.
So
speaking of speaking of makeup time, how long was the process for you to get into all that?
The first makeup test was like 5 hours, but then they got it down to like a tight 3. And then one day they did it in like 2 hours. And we're like, oh, wow. Hey, all right, getting fast.
Yes.
And then it'd be like an hour to get out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So what was more uncomfortable, the application or the removal?
Application's pretty chill. You're just sitting in a chair and watching yourself slow-mo transform. Getting out of it, everyone wants to go home. And so everyone is like maybe working a little fast. Yeah. And it's literally glued to your skin. Like, it'll rip your skin off if you pull it off. Mm-hmm. So there were a couple times where I would have to be like, okay, go slower, go slower. use more of that solvent that takes the glue off. There you go. Okay. Yeah, and then also sometimes it'd be like after doing a night shoot outside, where where I was essentially naked. They had like a tent for me and they had a big robe, but there were things, times that I was just cold. And so there were times they're taking the makeup off and I'm still just like shivering.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like torture, I guess, for the love of the art, right?
For the love of the art, yes.
The love of the art. What were your thoughts the first time you saw yourself in the full costume?
Relief. It was like, what? Because there wasn't concept art. It was really, I was flying to Bulgaria, which is where we shot, blind. I was like, I have no idea how practically I'm going to turn into a naked woman. And is anyone going to buy this? What's this going to look like? So when it came together, it was actually just like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, she looks nasty. And I still don't know if this will look like, me with rubber bits on, or if it will, maybe some people might think it's an actual woman. I still don't know that. I know that I have been transformed and this is awesome. Yeah. And then sure enough, like there have been a lot of people after the fact that like I posted one of the behind the scenes clips on like my nascent TikTok channel or whatever, and like 1 million people have watched it, and so many of those comments are, Tata Lady's a dude, like there's a lot of people that thought they were looking at some real sweet teats. And
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Sorry.
If I honestly hadn't known, I heard a interview. You're on another show. I think it was on Monster Party.
Oh, yeah.
But you were talking about it, and if I hadn't known that it was you and the costume, I would have thought it was a woman, like
awesome.
an unfortunate woman, but a woman nonetheless. Yeah.
Well, mission accomplished. Good job.
Sad thing is, I used to know a person locally that had quite a resemblance. I'd never seen her naked, but like in the face, she looked quite a bit like her.
Yeah,
it was striking. Like, yeah, I would love.
Is she going to be at the convention?
I hope not, but yeah, she might be. Well, I mean, it'd be a cool photo ops, I guess. But yeah, it's. Oh man, I wish I could remember her name and look her up. I wonder if she's on like social media. If I find her, I'm going to send you a link so you can be like, "Holy shit!"
Don't remember her name. What are you going to search?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll look up Crypto Zoo's exes or something. I don't know.
Ew, no.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a question I got here for you. So I've heard a lot of actors talk about just being like claustrophobic with all the prosthetics on. Was that something that bothered you, or like once you had it on, were you comfortable?
Right. Luckily, I'm not claustrophobic, and luckily I'm relatively patient, and I can sit in a chair and look at myself in the mirror for a long time because I'm an egotist. No, but there are, it's not comfortable, and you do kind of have to. I found myself having to manage my attitude and make sure that if it felt like something was just like sticking in my eyeball or whatever, just like incorporate that into your day and don't let it affect your attitude. So there was one day where they applied the face prosthetic just millimeters lower than they had been previously, and so the eyebrow piece was just subtly kind of pushing down on the top of my eye, and where I felt like I couldn't totally open my eyes wide. And just that small thing really, I extra had to work on my attitude that day. It just was affecting me, just having something rest on my eyelids, It wasn't there the previous day. So yeah, it's an interesting gig.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've had like an eyelash in my eye and it drives me crazy. I can imagine like a whole chunk of rubber on my eyelid. That would be a bit much.
Exactly. And usually if you have an eyelash in your eye, you can you have
Do something about it.
access to your fingers and they're not covered
Yeah.
in makeup and sharp pointy
Big nails,
and stuff. So
Yeah.
like I was wearing contacts for the mother, and they were putting this like goop in my eyes that would make her eyes look yellow and stuff. And yeah, if you get something in your eye, there's not a lot you can do about it.
just deal with it. Yeah. So it's kind of a dumb question, but me personally, if I could have, I would have had a whole bunch of weird selfies I would have taken myself.
Oh, of course.
In the costume, doing weird shit and weirder than you were already doing.
Right.
So I'm assuming you got.
Yeah, my phone is filled with that for sure.
Okay.
And there's one photo that I really love. It was they got me all ready, and then I was sitting in the makeup chair and they weren't ready for me on set yet. And so we were all just hanging out in the makeup trailer, and hey, it's long days. I fell asleep. Okay. I'm sitting there in the trailer in full mother, like not with a robe or anything. And I'm just kind of sitting there slumped over, sleeping, like spread eagle. And one of the makeup people took that picture, and I felt betrayed, but also it's hilarious and I love it. But I've been like, should I post this picture? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want it. It would like ruin the illusion too much, I think. I don't want to do mother dirty like that.
Maybe when the sequel comes out, you could
have
a little fun with it. Did they overdub your voice, or did you get to do the fun voice stuff too?
I got to go in for this like 5-hour ADR session and do all the sounds. I think some of the like shrieks and screams aren't me, but all of the like they like all of that is my voice. And so I'm grateful that Zach let me do that.
Did they let you kind of improv that, or did they kind of give you direction in advance?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing it on set, and then in that recording session, we were exploring different things, and then they ended up using what they ended up using. And like, when she first appears, they used where I'm like, because I was messing around with outward and inward, so like bah bah versus like bah, like breathing in. I was just trying to like break up my voice as much as possible. So that was one thing we talked about, like Zach and I talked about in preparation. He was like, when it comes to how she sounds, he was like, so not this, but do you remember the viral video where the cat is talking and where the cat goes, oh, Don Piano, oh, I don't know if you know that video, but I did know that video. And he's like, so not that, obviously, but just something off, something weird that isn't typical horror movie. And that made me think, I was like, what are off sounds I've heard? And it made me think of this Bjork album called Medulla, where it's an album that she made only using human voices. So like she used like a beatboxer and it was all a cappella. And she also used like an Inuit Tuvan throat singer that it's this track that I every time would have to skip because it makes me feel creeped out and bad. And this woman is doing almost like Baba. She's like like that on a track.
Yeah,
skip. I sent him that, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, yeah." So yeah, it was interesting.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
As soon as you said Bjork album, I was like, oh, here we go.
Give him a little bit of Bjork track 7.
That's right. Exactly. That's often a horror influence.
I want to circle back a little bit. You mentioned Doug Jones. He's one of my personal favorite actors, performers, entertainers, just in general.
Yeah, he's great.
And you've mentioned that he's kind of taking you under his wing a bit.
Yeah.
So you did mention how the connection happened through the manager and stuff. But what kind of advice have you gotten from him?
Yeah, he was kind enough to get on a long Zoom call with me before I went to Bulgaria, and and then afterwards we got lunch here in LA, and yeah, he's taking me under his prosthetic wing. His what I mean, yeah, I was just beforehand, I was just asking him a bunch of practical questions. So I was just asking him about like going to the bathroom when you are,
Right.
like all glued into whatever you're wearing, and he's done jobs where, where he has access, and then he's done jobs where he does not have access. And so he talked about like kind of, yeah, not hydrating yourself and not really eating until after the shoot day. I like, this isn't what you asked, but I did have access. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad?
That's good. That's I was
Sweet
worried about
please.
that.
Yeah.
I was worried about
You. But still, it's not easy because you got these craggly nails. And anyways, so I did just like, I was like, I'll drink as much water as I need, but if I could get through the day without having to pee, that'd be great. Just be easier for everyone. And or practical things like I anticipated, that I would probably be wearing a creature contact situation on my eyeballs, and I wear contacts. I have very bad vision, and I've worn those things before, where like you're taking out your own contacts and putting in like cloudy contacts, and then all of a sudden you just can't see. Even if I had 20/20 vision, you're looking through the clouds almost, but then you have blurriness on top. And so I'm like, man, and I'm gonna have to be like running through tunnels and stuff. How? And it was Doug that was like, they can put your prescription in those, and actually, but they'll need lead time. So you should reach out right now and ask them if they can put your prescription in whatever lenses. And I reached out, and like, yeah, Zach called me the next day. Was like, yeah, how blind are you? Yeah, because these tunnels are really actually dark, and you'll be running through them. So that would be bad. And I'm like, yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So thankfully, that was, Doug put that idea into my brain. I wouldn't have thought to do that. And so the contacts had my prescription, so I was able to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He seems
And
like
he is a testament to attitude also. Like I'm talking about like self-monitoring. I had to like channel my inner Dougie. Whenever I felt myself getting a little grumpy, I'd be like, WWDD, what would Doug do?
There you go. Did you feel like the first time you actually met him, like within minutes, you felt like you've known him for a long time?
Yeah, well, if you've seen him, he's just like, he's a ball of light, and he's just very generous, and will just like give you a hug and cup your face, and oh precious puppy,
Gotten the whole Dougie treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
He cupped me and he's like, be a good boy. Like, okay, Doug. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I haven't met him, but we had him on the show, and he was great to have a little chat with. He was really cool.
Yeah.
What about some of the co-stars? Justin Long. What were your thoughts on him?
I've been a fan of his ever since like Galaxy Quest, and when he was on a TV show called Ed, like his first couple gigs, I was just like, who is that? He's hilarious. He's so funny. And so when I found out it was him, I was super stoked and nervous, because I was like, man, I hope he's cool. And then, like I said, I was only pleasantly surprised that he was very chill and very cool, very funny.
And game for the weird shit. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And and then after the fact too, I watched Tusk, and I was like, oh, okay, of course he's game. He's been a giant prosthetic walrus, so this is just another day at work for him.
Yeah, did he have any advice for you, regarding that, like, as he's been under prosthetics as well?
No, I don't. I mean, we didn't talk about that. I was able to talk to Bill about that a little bit, because that was my first day on set, was like meeting Bill and then killing Bill. And I had just watched the 2 It movies, because when I found out he was cast, I was like, oh, I should watch these movies. I have a lot of horror blind spots. I've seen some, but I haven't seen.
Right.
A lot I haven't seen. I'm trying to make up. But yeah, so I hadn't seen those movies. So I was just like newly impressed by his performance. Obviously, I was like, oh, he just delivered an iconic prosthetics performance of the decade. No pressure, Matt, and and he was nice about it. He was just like, I'm glad it's you and not me. Those things, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he told me a little bit about like the physical vocabulary that he created for Pennywise and stuff. And yeah,
Right.
so it was great.
What
He was
about
probably happy to not have to get into all that makeup, all the shooting time.
Oh.
He's like, for once, I'm just here.
Yep.
Exactly. He can just show his
Better you than me. Yep.
face.
What about Richard Brake? Everything I've heard about him, that he is such a nice dude, cool dude. But like, if anybody has that perfect look to play a scumbaggy character, be that guy. But all I've heard is how just amazingly nice and down to earth he is.
Yeah, he's not a scumbag in the slightest
Good.
in real life. Isn't that
That's
good to
good.
hear?
That is
Yeah.
really good to hear.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's and like we didn't shoot together, but luckily we did have a day where I was like getting out of the prosthetics chair to go on set, and he was coming to like get into the prosthetics chair to have his old age makeup put on. And so there's like, so we got to have a picture together with both of us in the makeup. Oops, I hit my microphone. And which is on my Instagram. You can check it out. Rather Bears. Yeah, I just got to talk to him about prosthetics things also, and yeah, he's great. And we did a convention together too, so that was fun. We did CreepyCon together down here in Ontario, and so there it was. Some people got the twofer, the Barbarian 2-pack.
The dad and daughter.
Exactly.
How have the horror crowds been to you so far in the conventions and appearances that you've had?
Yeah, this is a new experience for me, and so they've been great. I mean, it's only love for the movie, and I mean, it's funny too because you see, I'm not like a convention mainstay like Doug Jones, where everyone knows who Doug Jones is, even if he's out of the makeup or whatever. So still, you'll see people like the penny drop for people. You'll see like, who is that? Wait a minute, that's what that's what she looks like. So that's
here's that thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, she's not a thing, she's a person. And yeah, so there's no ish about it. She's a person. She's a victim.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's been great. And then like, I don't know, I've been bottle feeding people. So for the photo op, there's this like hairy milk bottle that they gave us as far as promotion or whatever.
Right.
And so I'm using that for my cameos because I joined Cameo, and then I've been using that for the conventions. It's been fun. So
That's
I
great.
look forward to bottle feeding the Pacific Northwest.
There you go. They need it. They need it.
Yeah.
They do.
So are we sanitizing the bottle in between feedings?
Well, to be clear, no one's putting their mouth on it.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. Well, and people have brought their own bottles for me to drink, which is really funny. I love it. It makes me so happy. Yeah, people have brought milk bottles.
I was actually
one
gonna,
of my old kids' bottles.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna bring that up. I was gonna ask if because a lot of guests do like to do poses from a scene or have props or something. So there you go. You got the bottle. I like it.
Yeah. If you bring your kid's bottle, just put some hair on it.
Some hair on
it.
So you've been, like you said, you're pretty new to the convention scene.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you are finding yourself looking forward to now besides meeting people and hanging out? Like checking out other like vendors and stuff, or
all right. Well, I mean, so this is still like self-centered, but it's always entertaining to see which vendors make Barbarian themed things. And it hasn't taken over the way that like Terrifier has taken over the vendors. Right. There's so much Art the Clown stuff, at conventions, it seems. But occasionally, like, I'd like, there's this like pin with this cartoon version of the mother, like with these like voluptuous bosoms, and it says "Mommy's Milkers" on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Do you have it now, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay, all right. Making sure. That's kind of one of those things. Like, all right, I'm good.
They kindly give me one.
I can retire now. I've done it. I've made it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, those are my milkers, and they're like, oh my gosh, here, would you like a pin? So that's been fun, is to see what drawings people make, and what art people make based on the film. It's fun.
So, has anybody dressed up as the mother yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That would be the thing, right? I was hopeful for Halloween because it came out before Halloween. I didn't see any mothers for Halloween.
No, like the mother with pasties or something, just to be.
Yeah, you could put on
decent,
like a full body suit. Put on like a nude colored unitard or something.
Yeah,
dirty it up.
See, somebody got to do it. Come on, Seattle.
Yeah.
Somebody listening, Seattle, do it. Make us proud.
We believe in you.
If somebody shows up and dressed as the mother, I will personally pay for a selfie for them to take with you.
We'll give you a couple stickers you can put over the nips as pasties.
Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, if they went through that, I don't know, that would be a freebie for me.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Then I won't have to personally pay for it.
Yes, exactly.
It's a freebie. That's good. Yeah, that would be crazy if somebody went through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get like a stringy wig and get a hairy milk bottle.
Or I could just find that lady from back in the day around town.
Exactly. Find that lady.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't think I want to see her ever again. But anyways. So what are you looking forward to on the Seattle visit?
Well, my brother lives there, so I will be hanging out with him and his wife, and my dad's going to come up. So, and I think they're going to come by the convention too to see what the whole thing's about and stuff. So that'll be fun.
That's great.
What that you mentioned the family. What kind of feedback did you get from them when they seen the mother?
Yeah, you talk about like, so when after that Zoom call with Zach where he was like, be naked, ass out, shave your eyebrows. I didn't have to end up shaving my eyebrows, but he said those things and it gave me like pause. Usually an actor is just like, yes, whatever, yes. But I was like, could I be ass out, and what would happen to my junk, and what I was just a little nervous, and I was talking to my dad, and to his great credit, he was just like, I think you got to do it. So they've just been like fully supportive, nothing but proud. And my brother saw it in the theaters a bunch of times, and my dad saw it in the theaters a couple times, and it's been a blast.
That's cool.
Did you yourself sneak into the theaters and sitting back and watch people's reactions? And
100%. Yeah, I ended up. I mean, I have the AMC A-list thing, which is like a monthly to see a bunch of movies, and like I saw it 10 times in the theater. And I don't know. I think. I mean, it was my first feature, so who knows? Maybe the next movie I do, maybe I'll see that 10 times if it's in the theater. But I don't know. It's just, I think it was a testament to this movie specifically. It was so fun to watch in a theater with a group of people that had no idea what to expect. And to hear people like scream with their mouths when I enter, and then to just ride the ride of that hard cut to Justin and just see people go, what, and just feel them, ride the crazy turns of the film.
Emotion, yeah. That's one good thing that they really. I mean, the whole movie's great, but they did really well with not giving anything away with the trailers and stuff.
No, which is a modern miracle. All trailers give way too much away. I don't know how they did that, and I mean, but it was so smart.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
put out
quite
this
often
trailer that I was like, this movie looks good. Like I can't really figure out what it is, but it
Right.
looks good. And then I watched it and I was like, what the fuck? Like
Not
it
expecting.
was good though. It was a good what the fuck.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you got the Harry bottle. Do you bring any cool stuff to your table? Any exclusive things or
I don't know. Any suggestions? Do people do that?
um
I mean, yeah, besides pictures and stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They need to make an action figure of the mother.
No.
You have that yet? Like a really good detail, like the NECA figures are super detailed and really good.
Someone made and tagged me in it on Instagram. Someone made like a pop, like a
Funko
like
Pop.
a
Yeah.
custom Funko.
style.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and I think they said they're going to be at Crypticon. I think I'll be
Cool.
signing that.
That's cool.
So I look forward to that. That'll be awesome.
Oh, I'm gonna have to hope to see that one. I'm sure you'll probably take a picture of it. And,
If you're able to like get any of those funny photos from your phone of you in costume and
Print
put
some
those
of
up
those
on the
up.
table, yeah.
The sleeping one.
Yeah, people would probably get a kick out of that. Just seeing the mother kind of out of character.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that is one of the pictures that I have is a picture of me holding up Bill Skarsgård's like fake bloody destroyed head.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it's me in the costume with good old Bill. Sorry, Keith. Rest in power. But yeah, so people like
That's
that
cool.
because it's a little behind the scenes. Yeah.
So your parents, are they, I mean, obviously they're supportive of you and supportive of the movies that you've been in. Are they horror fans?
No.
No.
No, my dad would not be seeing Barbarian in the theater if it were not his son playing that beautiful.
Okay.
You mentioned the horror thing. You were talking about your horror blind spots and filling some of them. And what are some of the movies you've watched that you really enjoyed?
Yeah, when I was in Bulgaria, I Zach Kreger is a big horror fan, obviously, and this woman Elena who worked for New Regency, she was a big horror fan. So I asked them like, "What are your faves? What should I watch in my hotel? While I'm here." So that was the first time I watched Hereditary, which was amazing and great. That was the first time I watched like The Descent. I really liked that movie. Or Audition, which is this like Japanese movie. And it's very disturbing and it was hard to watch alone in a hotel. But I really liked it. And then yeah, I think that's yeah. I grew up. I had watched like Evil Dead 2. I had watched The Shining a bunch of times. I like wrote a half-hour musical based on The Shining. So
Nice.
but still I had a bunch of blind spots, but I'm trying to keep up.
Right. Did you get any critique from Doug on your portrayal of the mother?
I still don't know if he has seen it yet. He's been nothing but supportive. He likes all my posts and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like he also, well, I won't say also. I feel like he maybe doesn't love horror movies and seek them out on his own.
Right.
I don't know. I haven't heard him explicitly say that, but I think he appreciates what the community has brought into his life, and
yeah.
But I don't know if he's like, I'm going to put on Barbarian tonight with the wife.
He does seem like he connects more with the character he's playing than the whole picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. That makes sense. So do you have anything else coming up anytime soon? That you could talk about?
Yeah, I don't know when my next creature feature will be. But I'm available. I'll be doing like some theater work. I'll be doing a musical in like a month. and which is a good time to do that because right now the writers are striking, and so the industry is a little wonky right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go do some theater.
You got to do it L.A. or New York? Or...
Actually, it's a musical about Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
So they're doing it in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, that's a
Be there.
proper setting.
Makes sense.
Are you playing as Abe?
You guessed correctly.
I don't know. It's
Heights.
the tall, lanky thing, kind of.
And someone else made this joke, but I'm going to steal it. Now, I mean, so the oh my gosh, no, I'm not. I'm just ruining the joke. But anyways, I used to be like, yeah, go from the mother to playing Abraham Lincoln. It makes sense. But then someone made the connection. They both get shot in the head.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's my through line for the parts.
That's. I'll probably laugh about it later, but
a little too soon.
I don't want people to hear me laugh about it on air. It's too soon, dude. Like it's not even been a year since the mother took one in the head,
Oh,
so
too soon.
Way too soon. Way too soon.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying too soon for Abe. But you're right.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
You're right. Too soon for the mother. Although, who knows? I mean, she survived a lot in that movie.
I mean, we
got
thought
hit
she
by
was...
a car into a building, and she threw
that was it. Yeah.
So who knows? She could just incorporate that bullet into her skull and carry on.
That'd be cool. Maybe it hits and triggers something, and she just comes normal.
Yeah, it's like when a character in a cartoon gets kicked by a horse and then kicked by a horse again, and it turns it back. Yeah,
she gets she's normal.
Recalibrates everything.
Yeah. She goes to law school or something.
Yes.
And becomes a lawyer.
Yep.
I like it. That's a good. I'd watch that.
That could be a sitcom.
Barbarian at law. What about the name Barbarian? Was that a play into that character, or was it just people being barbaric in general? Or
I like that it's up to interpretation. I think I think that's what Zach likes about it also. But I will say that my agent or my manager before it came out, when he's pitching me for things, he would say, and he's playing the title role in the upcoming film Barbarian. And I was like, I think when you see the movie, I think you might not think I'm the title.
Yeah, you think Conan's gonna pop out and
well, that right. And I am the titular role.
That could be the sequel, the mother meets Conan and they fall in love, and it becomes like a rom-com.
Barbarian crossover.
There you go. Barbarian.
I think if anyone's the barbarian, it's not me. It's gonna be Frank or AJ or
Yeah, I'd say AJ was probably the barbarian in the film. Speaking of, before I forget about it, we have some friends that have a YouTube channel. They're called the Horror Addicts, and they do a lot of reviews and stuff. And every year they do an award show. And it's called the Oscars, kind of like the Oscars, but the Oscars. I think the Oscars kind of stole the name or something. I don't know.
Right.
We got to Steven Crypto Show got to announce the winner of the year's scariest monster, and it was the mother.
It was?
So yes, it was. You were the scariest monster at the Oscar Awards, and those guys will probably be at the show. They're local, so they'll probably pop by and say hi about it. But
that's probably why I haven't gotten my Oscar in the mail. Is because they're just going to give it to me in person.
Make sure you harass them about that.
I'll tell him he's waiting for his Oscar.
I am the winner. I expect my Oscar.
Yeah.
But
really put him on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make it very uncomfortable.
It's definitely fun to announce that. And it was a good list. I can't remember the list off the top of my head, but it was a good list of monsters that you beat out. So
yeah, we made a little video for it and had your picture in an envelope and just pulled it out. We're like, oh, there it is.
Wow.
I'll try to find the link to their award show. It's on YouTube and send it to you. So if you get a minute on a plane or something and want to watch it, but So, where can people keep up on your career? Where to follow you? Where to connect with you?
I think
And all that important stuff.
the Instagram's the best
Yeah.
place. Yeah, Matthew Patrick Davis. My name, 3 names. Boy, this guy with his 3 names.
You just got to get it in the right order.
You
Can't be
got to
like
get in the
Davis,
right order.
Matthew, Patrick, or you'll
No,
get
that
somebody
won't work.
completely different.
Yeah, you can't say you can't go Michael Patrick Davis. You can't go Matthew Patrick Harris. These are all things that have occurred. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, it's 3 names. Or Matthew with 1 T. You can't do that. It's got to be 2 T's, Matthew. Patrick with only 1 T. And then Davis, no T's.
Davis with no T's.
Get your T's in
All
order.
these other random people on
There's
Instagram are
3
getting messages
T's in
from
Davis, but they're
people
silent.
wanting them to sign their baby bottles.
Exactly.
Have you
What?
done any interviews without naming them, but if it's happened, has anybody announced you the wrong name, introduced you the wrong name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I was on a podcast kind of recently, and they sent me the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, awesome, cool!" And then in all the places except for Apple Podcasts, it was like interview with, I think it said Michael Patrick Davis, or no, it said Matthew Patrick David. That's what it was. Not Davis. It was David, and so I had to be like, "This looks great. You got my name wrong." And they're just, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." But that's it.
So Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Matthew Patrick.
Follow Michael Patrick.
Oh,
just kidding. Matthew Patrick Davis. On
you can follow the Michael guy too if you want.
Yeah, he's probably a nice guy.
Yeah. Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, follow the YouTube. He has a lot of fun songs and clips. Find the Jack Skellington clip.
Yeah, that's
it's
where
amazing.
that Before Christmas thing is.
And hopefully Disney sees the amazing portrayal of the mother and says, "This is the guy. This is the guy that we want to make the
come on, doesn't it make
Nightmare
sense?
Before Christmas?"
Now it's like starring the mother.
Screams Nightmare. Oh,
I mean, you bash
another crossover.
Yes. You bash in ahead very well. I mean, doesn't that count for something?
Right? And since I am dead, I can bash in ahead.
Oh,
yes.
See?
And also, Barbarian is technically a Disney movie.
I figured.
Because it's a 20th century, movie, and Disney bought Fox, so it is a Disney movie. And I haven't made this. I wasn't someone else made this joke too, but I think that means that the mother is a Disney princess.
A Disney princess.
That checks out. I probably would have agreed with whatever answer you gave, but that works. That checks out.
Yeah,
Disney princess. Yeah. You're up there with
any
Belle
reason for
Ariel
Barbarian
and the
to be a
mother.
Disney princess.
Exactly. So I think that's why the sequel will also be a musical. And you'll finally get to hear the mother sing.
And we'll finally get the mother Funko Pops.
Yes.
Anatomically correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in the most Funko Pops have a giant head. This one's going to have giant boobs.
There you go. They need to make them without, not the hard vinyl, though. They need to make them like a rubbery, so they kind of like jiggly. So you could shake it and look like she's running. Like, watch this. I can make her run. And yeah.
Some Funko Pops are scented. What do you think hers would be? What scent?
Milk.
I didn't even want to think about that. Old milk and gross and
mold.
Rat.
I think with all that being said, I think we should remind people Crypticon May 19th through 21st. Matthew Patrick Davis is going to be hanging out and feeding people from his hairy baby bottle. So make sure you guys come by, hang out, say hi. And is there anything you want to add before we get back to our day?
Thanks for having me. It's been a dang delight.
A dang delight.
Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
All right, we are back, and who's even more excited for Crypticon now after chatting with Matt and his enthusiasm, and he's a fucking funny dude.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
After you guys listen to that, I hope you feel like making the trek out to Crypticon to come meet him and everybody else that's going to be there.
And he even did the voice. He even did the mother voice, and he did that weird Bjork album fucking throat singing thing too.
Yeah.
Which was kind of odd and funny. Like I mentioned, we have some trivia. You guys know what to do. Message one of us to answer, and we will send you some stickers or something. And as a matter of fact, if you know the answer and you are coming to Crypticon, come up to us and say, hey, I know the fucking answer.
Yeah.
And tell us the fucking answer.
Come be a weirdo and just tap us on the shoulder.
Then we'll give you something.
Yeah.
Fucking stickers. Maybe I'll bring some pins or something. Usually we sell them, so you guys are that special that I'm going to give some free pins away.
I'll give you a pocket full of loose gummy worms or something like that. You got to pick the lid off of them.
Don't waste them gummy worms. But trivia, what do you got for us?
All right. So, again, we're recording this on Monday the 15th. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Happy belated Mother's Day to any moms listening. And ironically, we were just talking about the mother from Barbarian. So,
Happy Mother's Day to her.
Yeah.
Baby.
Happy Mother's Day, baby. So, yesterday, to cap the end of the night, we were watching Devil's Rejects, which is one of Sarah's favorite horror movies. She's picky with horror, but loves that one. And I've watched that a lot, and there's a scene in there that I kind of forgot about. Otis is yelling at Captain Spaulding when they're in a burning building, and he's trying to get his attention. And he doesn't call him Spaulding. He calls him something else. Calls him by his real name. And I don't mean Sid Haig. He's not like, Sid!
His nickname.
Sid! He's yelling out his real name, which I just don't recall noticing until last night. So anyway, made me think of some good trivia. What is Captain Spaulding's real name? Again, not Sid Haig, not the actor, Spaulding.
I think they might say in the last movie. Because don't they have
in Three from Hell?
Yeah, don't they have him locked up or something at the
Yeah.
beginning? And I think they say his real name.
They might.
So you could go with that or the nickname that he was yelling.
I don't remember Three from Hell nearly as much as the first two. No. Corpses is one of my favorite horror movies ever.
Yeah.
Rejects is cool too. Three from Hell is one that I wanted to like, and we've tried watching it. I mean, I own it. We've tried 3-4 times. We always end up getting up, doing other things while it's on. Yeah.
I definitely wanted to like it as much as the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
and Sid was he was about gone when they were making that film. He was damn near out of this world. So I heard Rob really only had 1 day to shoot with him and very small amount of time. So
he was another nice guy. Not Rob. I don't know Rob.
Oh.
I never met Rob. But
Sid
was a great dude.
I never got to meet him, but yeah, he seemed cool. I know he was fucking funny.
Yeah. So what's the trivia again?
All right. I want to know, what is Captain Spaulding's real name?
All right.
So if you go back, watch Devil's Rejects, watch Three from Hell, you can probably find it in there.
Or you're just a hardcore fan and know it already.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, tell us the answer. Message one of us. He's CryptoZoo88. I am the Steve Strout. That's on Instagram and Twitter. Tell us the answer. Tell us the answer to any of the episodes, and we'll fucking hook you up with something.
Yeah.
Because we just like to do that. With that being said, we just got to remind you guys, before we wrap up, to check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/SteveCrypto. We're really going to put effort to post more stuff there. But either way, we appreciate any support from you guys there and at buymeacoffee.com/SteveCrypto. It all helps. It all helps us buy these stickers and stuff that we're gonna give to you guys for doing trivia. So all that stuff.
And keep a lookout for our online social media accounts, because if you're too far away and you can't make it out to Crypticon, you might at least get a little sneak peek this weekend while we're there. We're going to do our best to maybe be on, online, go live or something like that through Instagram.
Definitely
wherever
try.
we can. We're going to try to make a point of doing that at some point in the day, and maybe at least go by some of the vendor tables and just show you guys what it's like.
And we'll definitely do a recap show after.
Yeah.
Might not be immediately after, but it'll be within a couple weeks after.
We're selling this con to you.
There you go. Hear that, Crypticon Seattle? We're trying.
Yep.
So yeah, get all the details for Crypticon, CrypticonSeattle.com. And then, now back to, let's talk about us again. Our Facebook group. Search the Steve and Crypto Show podcast on Facebook. Join that. Jump in some conversations. Start your own conversation. Post something you're working on. Post something your friend's working on. Just post something you come across that looked cool. Just post stuff in there. Invite friends to join and have some fun with us. Of course, we'll be promoting the shit out of the podcast in there as well, which is, it's the Steve and Crypto Show podcast group. But we want to make it a community for everybody.
And
else?
If we're into your project, if you post a clip and we really admire it, who knows, we might hit you up to be on the show.
Very
But
possible.
keep that in mind.
Merch.
Yeah, you can head over to our Etsy store. Again, that is Etsy.com/Steve and Crypto merch. Go get you a shirt, get you a mug, get you a magnet. If you have a shirt, I want to see you wear it at a Crypticon.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah.
And, of course, leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to this wonderful podcast. Whether it be Spotify or Apple or Good Pods or Podchaser or I don't know, all the other ones. We're on a whole bunch of them. So review us and rate us there.
Really helps. If you listen to podcasts, you probably already know that there are a ton of them to listen to. But if you're new to the podcast thing, there are a ton of them to listen
There's
to.
Millions. And the more ratings and reviews we get, the more we'll turn up in searches and all that stuff.
Yep.
Which helps us more than you imagine. So
We're just trying to find our people, our horror friends like you guys that are listening now.
Our horror and nerdy friends.
Yep.
I guess with all that out of the way, thank you, Kelly Maroney, Jason Brooks, Jeremy Rudd,
Matthew Patrick Davis.
Thanks everybody for coming on the show. Thanks to Crypticon for being a fucking blast every year. And we will see everybody, or some of you, or anybody, hopefully. If you come to Crypticon, let us know. That being said, we're leaving. I got to start packing for Crypticon for one day. Thank you guys for listening.
All right, we'll see you there. Peace.